Hey there, I'm JD and welcome to my channel. If you want to get a hold of me at jdwatchservice@gmail.com, right up there. For pocket watch work, I do pocket watch work. I can do watch work, but I typically do pocket watch work. So today I've got a little bit of a video here for you that's kind of a bit different. So first of all, I'm going to unbox this beast here, and it looks like it's been crunched up. So this came all the way from our friends in China, right, where everything is made in China. And this tool, I showed this on the video called "What is this tool?" And so this tool, opening this box is always a challenge. You're like, okay, how do I actually open this? Okay, I do it this way. So this tool is a tool specifically made for setting watch hands. So we just roll that this way. So it comes boxed up like this. Now, if you get a box in the mail that's looking like this, you're going to typically say, oh my God, whatever it is, it's going to be broken, right? But that's not the case in this, because they've got nice foam packing here. So that's very dense foam. So kind of like me. And then I've got all of these, and I'm going to explain in a second. And then inside the center of this, these here were glued on, but in fact, when I first opened this box, I unglued them, but it's just kind of crappy glue on there anyway. But it does protect this device. So this is a hand setting device. This is definitely a knockoff of a Bergeron hand setting device. So there it is there. Let me just put these parts back here so I don't lose them, because I'll likely just store this back in this box when I'm not using it. It's very convenient that way. And just push that down and get this, throw this out of the way so everything ends up on my floor. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Oh, a mixed camera. I can actually look at it. That's weird. Anyway, video in video. So here it is. And this device, just zoom in a bit more maybe and see if I can get the proper angle here. So this device here is used for setting hands. So what you would do typically is you've got individual movement holders here. And each one of these movement holders, let me move this down a bit more, is a different size. Now the problem I have is I'm working on a 7750 Valjour watch, and I think that's a 13.5, and I believe this is the Ling size for the watch. I think this is Ling, and this says 11.5. So this is my first problem. Even though it's got a center piece here, which is usually to support the jewel when you're putting a hand on the watch. So this would go on like that. And then I would put the movement in there, and then I use these presses. This locks in, it snaps, as you can see. And then you'd use these presses to press the hand on whatever hand I have. So, and these are all different size presses. So if I look at it this way, see if I can make this fall apart. Oh, drop things on the floor. So if you look at the bottom, you can see that the hole sizes are 3 different hole sizes. This is the largest one for pressing down the watch hand, and this is a medium one, and this is a small one. It's like the Goldilocks and the 3 hand presses. And this one here is just a simple flat one. So it doesn't respect the fact that you might need a hole in the middle to cover whatever. If this is an hour hand going over a minute hand kind of thing, or a minute hand going over an hour hand, then you would need something like this. But here it's just pressing it straight down. So you would have this here and then put that in there, and then you just make sure that's aligned with the movement and then press that straight down. So the challenge I have here is the watch movement I'll be doing this on. I've got a few things here. So first of all, just going all over the map here, these ones have plastic nubbies on the end instead of the steel ones. So I could screw these plastic ones on here. That makes it probably a little less abrasive to push it on. I've got these 7750 watch hands that I received, and from what do they call it? Sonobel, something like that. Anyway, it's a full set of watch hands I procured, but really that's the hand I want right there, which is the center second hand. So that's the hand right there, Jerry, right there. See that? And that has a pipe hole. The diameter of the hole on that is 0.25 millimeters. So, and the watch movement, let me just move this over very carefully here. This this is the watch movement. I don't want to lose any parts on this thing. So there's the watch movement, and that is a 7750 Valjour chronograph watch, right? So that watch needs the new hand. So I would have to set that up, and the hand would have to be set up dead center. Now I know that this die, right, is too small for this movement. So what I need to do is throw this movement into a holding movement for this particular Valjour 7750 watch. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. Then I have to make sure this hand actually fits on that pipe. Now I can do that without having this in the movement holder, but I might as well make everything safe and put that in the movement holder. My other assumption here is that this is already, I know this is set up top, so which I've already pressed the reset button when it was in the case, and so everything is reset to the top. So when I put this hand on here, I make sure it's lined up dead center here, and then if I hit the chronograph button on the top here, it'll start moving with this hand. This will move one tick every time the center second hand goes around once. So that's how this works. Apologize for my hat, but look at that there, and look at this there. So this is from the Lord Strathcona Armored Core Unit. Lord Strathcona Leopard tanks, boys, Leopard tanks. So there you go. So here I've got all this stuff here, so I'd have to just take this off and put this in the movement holder. So I'm going to go grab my movement holder to do that. So I've got two 7750 movement holders here. I've got this one here, but if I look at these jobby doohickeys on the inside of this, they don't look like they're small enough to get inside the pipe to hold that hand steady. So this might be a write-off, and I don't have, the appropriate, they gave me some of these things here, but I don't have the appropriate size pins to push out, because in this movement holder you can actually screw these pins here and they'll go in and out depending on where you want that to be. So nice movement holder, but for disassembly I use that, but kind of shitty for what I want to do here. Okay, so we're just going to put this one back in its container and put it aside and try to put it back exactly where I got it from. Hey, what's that all about? There we go. So that's back into its home. And just move these hands out of the way so I don't destroy anything. Then I bought another movement holder here, and I'm going to see if this one works. This one does seem to have different pin inserts. And again, I don't know whether these are the right size, but let me look at the movement holder itself and see if it's got anything that's interesting. So yeah, it says 77 5X. And if I look at these pins again, you look at the pins that are part of this, just dump this here. Dumpy dump. And my concern is the center pin. These are little pushers here, but it's the center pin, and I want to make sure that I've got, these ones here don't do anything for me, and these are two center pins here that are part of it, right there. There we go. Center pin 1 and 2. Is that going to focus? Yeah. So it looks as though one of them is bigger than the other one. And let me look at this one here, because if I go under my eyepiece, let me just grab my eyepiece and have a look at this pin for a second. So that's hollow in the center, and this one's also hollow in the center. And it comes with these little rods here, which I don't know what they're for, right? So, but if 7750X, what I want to make sure is that when I push that center down, I end up having some support for that center piece, right? So let me grab a screwdriver here and screw this in, right? So it's screwed in from this side here, like that. So let me just put that in like that, and then screw that in place. See if that screws in easily. and it seems to. So I put that in place like this, and it should pop up through the hole on the other side, right? Here it comes, right, like that. Now the problem is, again, does that center pin actually support the hole on this side that's got the pin in it? So if I look at the one they provided, and I just put that like this, right, that doesn't seem to support anything. Yeah, this is going to provide zero support for that, the pivot on the other end, right? So that's no good, which means this is going to provide zero support for the pivot on the other end. So that's a total waste of real estate right there. But I might as well screw these things in, because otherwise I'm going to lose them, right? So I'll just screw these in while I'm waiting and I'm thinking about this. So when I put that pivot in, and I got 4 of these, but I don't need to screw those in, and I got a pusher. So none of these here have pins in them that are going to help at all. Geez, I wish they did, but they don't. I don't know who invented this thing, but as far as I know, it is actually useless for supporting the center pin. And I wanted the center pin to be supported, but it's not supported by any of this crap. So thank you for making the world's best movement 7750 movement holder with no center support. So what are my options? My options are to put that center hand on and be very careful when I push it down. That's my only option remaining, because none of this crap works. Great for doing disassembly of the movement, but not good for putting the thing back in. So crap. Now I might be able to actually hold the movement better with this one here. If I just rest the movement in, will that hold the movement nicely without this center pin crap happening? Just unscrew this a bit to get it out of the way. There, it's out of the way now. So let me just put this movement inside of this and see if that supports it at all. And I just wanted to lay it in nicely. Lay down, Sally. Sally! So that is going in, and there it goes. So that is in nicely and flat, so that's good. So I can use this to hold the movement while I push the center in. So now, again, move this out of the way, because if it's in the way, you got trouble. And I know that the rotor doesn't support it at all, so I can't do anything there. So what I'll do, let me get this here. I'm talking a lot today because I'm trying to talk my way through this and not screw anything up. So there we go. This is a watchmaker at work here. So now I've got this here and this here. So the question is, when I push the hand on, what will I use to push the hand on? I think I'll use the flat. Yeah, I'll use the flat stainless steel to push down on this, because this is, in fact, let me grab this here. These are the micro miniature hands here for the chrono movement that I said, thanks for the hands, but talk to the hand, don't need it. And this is the other hands here. There's 3 of them. These are fundamentally the same hand here that I have on the watch movement. So I've got the hour hand and a couple of minute hands. And I want to measure the length of that center second hand to make sure I'm not screwing that up. So I'm just going to dump these hands right here, way over here. I'm going to dump them way over here. That way they're not going to get crushed by any of my crazy watchmaking work, right? Let's put that aside, and then what do I want to do here? I want to place this in here and see if it fits. Oh, look at that. Actually, that is really weird. So this crazy made in China freaking device actually fits. So let me just stop recording and get a better close-up. All right, I'm back. So the first thing I'm going to do is see if the pipe on this second hand is actually the right size. What is strange here is that, see that indent here? Let me just drop this right here. That indent right here is actually fitting nicely on the inside of this. So if you look at the rim there, it actually fits perfectly on this. So this is either made for it or something, but this is great. It's like aces, Jerry. It's aces. So what I want to do then is just push that hand over just to see if it actually fits on the pipe before I do any serious gluing or anything, right? So I'm going to get up close here and try that out. This scares me, by the way. So now I might want to do this outside of this hand presser, and then just, there's the hand presser. And is that the last position here? Let me just go down slowly here and see if that lines up. That does line up. It's a little loose, but it does line up. So I should be able to push that on. I got to really be careful pushing that on. And what I don't want is this thing to spin out again like it did last time. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off because I know it'll work, and I need more real estate just to dip the hand on and grab the pipe of that hand and put it down. So I just grab it gently and then place it down on the mat gently. So everything is gently. Now if I screw this up, I'm going to have to get another hand for it. So, and I don't want to screw up that center, the pivot for the center, because that would really piss me off. So if I just do this, I just want to see if that pivot is the right size. Kind of looks like the right size. But that just goes on like this. Like that, and then you tip it over and press it down. And that's tipped over, so what I would do now is press that into position once I got it lined up. So, but I don't want this pivot coming out. So I got a couple of choices here. I put a little tiny bit of that glue on the top. I put a little tiny bit of the glue on the top and then press it down, or I just press it down and hope that it doesn't get loose. What do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? This scares the crap out of me, by the way. Yeah, I am not sure, because I know if I put a little dab of glue or something on the very end of that, right, I know it'll hold a hell of a lot better in the long run. So why don't I do that? I've got to get some of the stuff here I have, and I don't need the permanent, I just need the semi-permanent. So I've got like tons of stuff here. So medium force thread lock blue is probably what I want to use, medium strength, because if I use full strength I'll never get it off. So this is thread lock blue removable, so that might be the right one, which is Loctite, but it's removable. So the other one might not be removable. Thread lock blue medium. I think I use this one for the top one though, so removable might not be hard enough. So I'm going to try for medium. So what I did last time, if you saw my previous video, if I'm still recording here, is I took a needle. So I got the needle here, and I'm not worried about this drying over a short period of time, right? So I got the needle here, I got my needle, and I clean the needle off. So I want to have a little bit of Rodico here and poke the needle into the Rodico so it's sort of cleaned off. You don't want dust or anything else on this thing. So I'm going to poke the needle into the Rodico, and then I'm going to take a business card. The only value, like I said before, of changing businesses a lot is that you get new business cards. So there we go. And I hope, Bill, you're watching this, because this is like stressful as shit. So So anyway, so I grab this and I put a big blob down, right? So, and I'm not worried about the size of this blob. If I shake it, maybe I shake it first. Let's shake it first and then put the blob down. Mix it up a bit. Oh! So I'm just shaking it back and forth like that. And then I put the blob down. And I don't want to put too much because it'll ride down the pipe and get into the watch. And you do not want that. So I'm hoping to be able to put the world's smallest piece of liquid on this thing without causing a problem. So there's my blob. And as you recall, when you're doing watch work, if you pull things away fast, it ends up being a blob. If you pull things away slowly, it just grabs it, and I'm not sure if I got anything on there. Might have something on there. I got to put a little more down here because it's just getting absorbed by my credit card. So let me just put a big blob down there. The big blob. All right. So grab some of this and just touch the end here. All right, I think I got a little bit in the end there, so that's good enough, as they say. So move this out of the way and move this out of the way. And now what I'm going to do is just rest, get all that crap out of the way here. And now what I'm going to do is just rest the hand on top here. Nice and easy. Again, I want my tweezers to be clean. So I'll just shove them in there and then shove them in here. So my tweezers are clean. And then I want to grab this hand and I want to put that on top here, ever so lightly, I think. I think I might need my crazy pusher. Let me grab this. All right. I'm using my teeth right now. So this is my $1 million pusher, ladies and gentlemen. $1 million pusher. So what I want to do is line this up before I press down at all. It's going to give me a heart attack. It's going to give me a heart attack. Just want to have this thing sitting there. Like that. Then I want to roll it over. I don't know if that hole is big enough. That hole's not big enough. I got to order other hands. That's the problem. So I'll use this end of it here. Gee whiz. I don't know if that hole is big enough, folks. Looks like it's maybe not big enough. It's kind of on top right now. But you have to make sure this thing is lined up before you press down or you're screwed. And it hit the end and popped off. Jesus, Murphy. Let me look at this hole again. I don't know if that looks big enough. That's like screwing me up here. Nope, that went off the side again. Jeez, I don't think that hole's big enough. I don't think it's big enough. That's really pissing me off because it's supposed to be a point. It's supposed to be point. I don't want to broach it. I could broach the hole, but Jesus, I don't want to do that. I may have to because it doesn't look like it's big enough. You just want to be able to put it down and then push it on. That's the trick. And if the hole's not big enough, then it ain't going to work. So, and I have to go to plan B. You definitely don't want to break the pivot because that would be very bad. So I'm going to get one of my pushers here and see if I can line this up somehow with the pusher. Alright, so that's on top. So what I'm going to do now is put that inside this device here, because I know I can apply just a little bit of pressure to the top and then align it, right? Let me see if I can move this up a bit, because what I want to do is make sure that second hand is 100% aligned with the where it's supposed to be. This is hard to do. Okay, that's aligned. Let me look at it from the top again to see if it's aligned. So it's slightly over. So I have to push it the other way just a bit. When I do that, I want to make sure that I've got pressure on this. I'm going to just turn it around this way and so I can see it properly. And then I'm lowering this little plunger here to get it moved over, but I'm still not sure if that pipe is big enough. Alright, it flew off again, so let's try this again. Move everything out of the way. I think I had it on too. And I'm putting zero pressure on this thing, that's why it's just flying off. So I'll pick the hand up again and just try to rest it down. It'll take it from the other side, so I think I almost had it there. And hopefully this glue is still holding. So let me see what I'm going to do here. I want to be able to put it on. I need to, I'll use this again to help me, this device. And I want to make sure it's just resting for the most part. Jesus, I'm going to swear any second now. Hope you're appreciating this, my friend. I hope you are appreciating the detailed stuff you got to do with these watches. All right, so that's on top now. And I'll just use my hand pusher just a bit to see if I can line this up before I put it into the device. All right, so that's that's 100% aligned. So now I'm going to bring over this again very carefully and put this in nice and easy like that, and then I'm going to press down on this thing and see what happens. Now I pressed down, but I don't know if I pressed down hard enough. It's still sticking up pretty high, so I'm not sure if this is going to work because this looks like it's pretty high up there. Trying to do this with some control, but my God, I'm telling you, it's finicky as shit. I don't know. Not sure if this is working or not. Trying to tap it down so I don't put too much. Yeah, it's in nicely, but I don't think it's down far enough. I don't think that hole is tight enough on this thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it off again. I'm going to use this little device here to pull it up. I actually don't think that's in good. Is that in good? Let me check. I am not sure. I'm going to tap it some more and see if that actually helps. But I don't want to F up the back end of this at all. Like if I break a jewel or something, I'm screwed. Let's see if that's gone down any further. It may have and it may not have. Jesus. All right, time to take it under the microscope and have a look. All right, there we go. Last part of this video. So it's in there nicely now. I checked it and it looks like it's good. I think it's slightly to the right, but I hope my friend doesn't mind that much because when I pushed it down, there's no way of unpushing it. So it's just slightly off center, which pisses me off, but I don't want to take it off because it'll break. So you can see that. It's pointing at the white, but it's just on the right hand side of the white. So just the way it went down. I'm not going to bother fixing that because this will work. And who knows when I hit the heart on the movement, whether that'll actually snap back to where it needs to be. So I'm going to let this dry the way it is. It looks like it's good. I turned it around and checked under my stereo microscope, and that pipe does hit a jewel on the other end. I really didn't want that jewel to break, so I think we're good with that jewel. It's in there still. There's no issue with it, so I think we have success here. So what I'm going to do is take this off, and like I said before, it's kind of neat that this fits perfectly in the die here. I didn't think that would happen, actually. So this is 100% solid as a solution to put that in the die. And I want to just put this aside now and let it dry, because I put this glue on here, which is Threadlock blue, this stuff here, Threadlock blue medium strength, and I'll let it dry for 24 hours, and then we'll test this little bugger. It's a little bit off from center, but I don't know, I don't want to play with it anymore. It's good, and it will count seconds. It's just slightly off, which kind of pisses me off, but I can't pull that off again and try that again. I'll end up ruining it, and you don't want to do that. So if I look at it sideways here, it looks like it's flat. If I look at it from the side, it looks like it's flat, and it looks like it has enough real estate to get over all the other hands. So we'll try this out from a chronograph perspective later, and go from there. I think I actually have it in here wrong too. It's supposed to be on the other side, but that's good enough. It's flat and it's laying in there nicely. So that's it. So that's the video today. So again, what I did was I took that center second hand and I put a little bit of thread lock on it like this. I pushed it down. I actually tapped it a bit. I was worried about just pressing it really hard, so I just tapped it a bit to get it in place. And then I actually did take the hand pusher here and apply a little controlled pressing down on it to get it to go down a little further, which worked, because I'm a rookie at using this device. So if I move this back, you'll see the device I'm talking about. So I'm kind of a rookie at doing this. What I need to do is I need to get a couple of watches and just try it out, and just get used to pushing down on that where it's not going to cause a problem with the jewel on the other side. So these hands are still good, these hands here, so I can just put this back together. I don't think I need all these bags. I know it's a 7750 hand, so I'll just maybe I'll just put these hands in here so I still understand it's 7750, and if there's any other hand problem that my friend might have, we can deal with that. So I'm just hoping when I hit that reset after this is dried that the thing snaps back into position and I don't have a big problem. So it's slightly off from center, which I don't know, it pisses me off again. I was very anal retentive, but when it went down, it turned slightly, and I just can't take that off again. I'm just very worried about it, but it gives it a little bit of personality, okay, as they say. So there you go. So that's the video for today, and very, very difficult. So this is the movement I disassembled and put back together, and it was working perfectly. And the stupid center second hand, I had riveted the hand back onto the pipe. It worked for a while, but then it flew off again, so I bought a brand new hand for it. So there we go. That's it. I'm going to put this back over here in the pad, and then put a cover over it and just let it sit and dry. So thanks a lot for watching my video, and I'll catch you next time. And it's not a simulation video, isn't that neat?